...2015 is over, and it's time to sum up the gaming year. Welcome to Czaros' Game of the Year 2015. It has been quite a big year for gaming, with big positives, but also big negatives. On one side we've got wonderful games such as Splatoon, Undertale, Ori and the Blind Forest, Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, Fallout 4 and etc. And on the other side we've got Konami's awfulness towards Kojima, cancellation of Silent Hills, Nintendo failing at E3 and releasing quite a few bad spin-offs, including the lowest rated Nintendo game of like all time. And worst of all, the passing of Satoru Iwata, which drove the entire industry into united sorrow. The programmer genius, a unique, always positive and great CEO, and a gamer at heart, Iwata will be always remembered in the hearts of gamers worldwide. And speaking of Nintendo, after the extremely good 2014 and a great start of 2015, you'd think there's no stopping them. Great DLCs for Mario Kart 8, the best shooter in many years with Splatoon. What could possibly go wrong? Oh yeah, a disappointing E3 and a whole bunch of disappointing spin-offs. What can I say? It seems as if Nintendo forgot Miyamoto's own quote that rushed games are bad. Because they actually stated that those spin-offs are made just so they can produce more games. But hey, they can still repair everything, I hope. Now let's not forget about a certain other Japanese developer who managed to get the whole gaming world to hate them. Konami. But you know what? It's not even worth talking about in detail. All the things they did towards Kojima are beyond awful. It's like, it's his game and they're like, no, you can't even take the price for it. That's just freaking awful. But hey, let's talk about the positives instead. And in my opinion, the most positive things came from the indie games part. There were so many good ones this year. Crypt of the Necrodancer, Ori and the Blind Forest, SteamWorld Heist, Undertale, Zombie Vikings and lots more. Seriously, this year just made my statement that indie games nowadays are superior, much stronger. But yeah, you will see that in the Game of the Year list. Which, without further ado, let's start the list. Music is something I find really important in games. In fact, I love listening to music from the games I play outside of those games. And 2015 is another great year for gaming soundtracks. But which are the best? Let's find out. Number 3. Crypt of the Necrodancer. Danny Baranovsky delivers awesomeness once again. The soundtrack is an important part of a rhythm-based game, and this is some awesome quality right here. It's part of what makes this game so addictive. Number 2. Splatoon. It may not fall into everyone's taste, but the light-hearted squid singing combined with awesome melodies are just pure joy to listen to, in my opinion, and they just add to the already great personality of Splatoon. And number 1 goes to Undertale. Toby Fox both created this masterpiece of a game and composed the soundtrack for it. And it's a pure masterpiece as well, with every track being awesome in every way. Even if you, for some reason, don't like the game, you cannot deny that the soundtrack is just wonderful. Graphics aren't the most important thing in a game. In fact, you can make a masterpiece without good graphics at all. But it's still better if the graphics are at least appealing to the eye. And my personal favorite are artistic graphics. Mostly the hand-painted ones. So which three met all of my standards this year? Let's find out. Number 3. GTA 5 PC. I'm honestly not that much of a GTA fan and didn't play too much of GTA 5 either, but it's undoubtedly a really good looking game and it works really great on PC, improving the graphics but still working good unlike many other PC ports, including GTA 4, which was terrible. Number 2. Zombie Vikings. The visuals in this game remind of the beautiful creations from the UbiArt engine. Zombie Vikings though uses a 2.5D style of gameplay and it perfectly blends the 3D graphics with the hand-painted backgrounds and characters. It's a pure joy to look at. And number 1 undoubtedly goes to Ori and the Blind Forest. I mean, this game just takes the crown even from Dust and Elysian Tale for the most beautiful looking game of all time, in my opinion. It has beautiful hand-painted graphics full of detail and movement. Literally every screen of the game could make a beautiful wallpaper. And we need more beautiful games like this, please, and less grayscale, quote, realism. DLCs are quite a hard topic. It's great if done right, but it's often done wrong with too high prices for too little or downright completing the game with DLC because the original product was incomplete. Well, this category is here to point out the best DLCs this year, 3 of them to be exact. Note that this category doesn't include updates such as new maps in Splatoon and stuff. Only actual DLCs or expansions. Number 3. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. The game was already full of content, with hundreds of items, etc. But Afterbirth actually adds quite a lot, including lots of new items, new enemies, new bosses, and 2 completely new game modes. Grid, which changes up the whole way you play drastically, and Daily Run. It's a little expensive, but it's well worth it. Number 2. Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 2. But if you really want something worth the price, the Mario Kart 8 DLC packs are worth every cent. 8 new courses, 3 new characters and 4 vehicles in each, and all the courses are masterfully designed. Like, these are some of the best courses in the whole series. And finally, at number 1, Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows. This free expansion adds Plague Knight as a playable character, but it's not just a reskin or an alternative character. It changes the gameplay drastically and adds a completely new story, even though it's simple. It's like a completely different game, and the best part of it is, it's free on all platforms. A masterpiece got even better. And now, it's time for the most important category of them all, the overall best of the bests. The greatest gaming experiences this year. It's time for the Game of the Year category, listing top 10 best games of 2015 that I played. So, don't get upset if a game you loved isn't here because, number 1. This is my list and this is my opinions. You don't have to agree with them, but they are still my opinions. 2. I haven't played all the games this year, and the list of all the games I played will be available on my Twitter and Facebook pages. Now, without further ado, let's go! Number 10. Nuclear Throne. I knew about this game before, but it didn't really catch my interest until its release, when it appeared on the front page of Metacritic. And you know what? Those high scores are justified. Nuclear Throne is a fast-paced, roguelike action shooter when you control mutants in a post-apocalyptic world. It's really fun and very addictive, but only recommended for hardcore players. Number 9. Fast Racing Neo. This game makes up for the lack of a new F-Zero game on Wii U. It looks really great, it plays really great, and is overall a really fun, fast racer. It's cheap too, so there is no reason not to try it out. It's worth every cent. Number 8. Super Mario Maker. What? Super Mario Maker slows on the list? Yeah, actually yeah. As much as I love this game, there are still a few things that hold it back, mostly the many limitations. It's a great game, but it only gets the number 8 spot. I mean, it's still just a Mario game, but with a level editor. It's nothing really that impressive. Number 7. Crypt of the Necrodancer. Here we have another roguelike indie game, but this one is truly unique. It's a dungeon crawler game, but everything is happening to the rhythm of the incredible soundtrack. With endless replayability due to its randomly generated dungeons and its addictive gameplay, this is one game that will last a long time. Number 6. Zombie Vikings. A game by Zonk, a developer from Gothenburg, Sweden. Zombie Vikings is an amazing beat-em-up game with beautiful visuals, awesome music, and amazing tons of humor with great voice acting and animations. The gameplay is equally as good and supports 4 players at the same time locally. This is a game that went high above my expectations. Number 5. SteamWorld Heist. And here we have another game from Gothenburg. This one is from Image and Form. Heist is a new entry in the SteamWorld series, this time tackling the strategy genre, and it does a magnificent job at it too. The gameplay is close to flawless. It's simple, but has a surprising depth to it. The game released on 3DS first, and even there the visuals are amazing and detailed. And the soundtrack adds even more personality to the game, with the many songs by Steam-powered Giraffe. This is one masterpiece every 3DS owner just needs to get. Number 4. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I was already a fan of the series before, but this installment made me really love the series. It improved on basically all the problems that I had with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and it adds new monsters, new locations, etc. And it has a ton of nice crossover DLCs and other DLCs, and they are all free. And even the story, which usually isn't a strong point of the Monster Hunter series, this time it made me actually invested and made me care about the characters. But most of all, the gameplay is amazing, and it works beautifully online, despite being on 3DS, which you'd think is very weak for online gaming. But it's probably my best online experience, aside from one another game. Number 3. Ori and the Blind Forest. I gotta admit, the first few minutes of this game were a true field trip, or whatever you say. At first, the beautiful art just blew my mind right away, surpassing even the beauty of Dust and Elysian Tale, as I mentioned before. Then, just a few minutes later, it already managed to make me teary-eyed with its heartbreaking opening. What's most important though, is that everything else is nearly perfect too. It's a great Metroidvania-ish platformer where you control the adorable, agile Ori through a beautiful but dangerous world, accompanied by amazing gameplay and a lovable soundtrack. It's a true pleasure to play. You should check it out as soon as possible. And now number 2, Splatoon. Nintendo cannot do online games, right? Wrong!
Well, yeah, most of the time they aren't too great, but Splatoon just nails it. It became my favorite shooter of all time, and my favorite online game of all time. It has a lot of personality with its detailed world, kick-ass soundtrack, awesome visuals, well, for the most part, and great gameplay with only some minor issues like occasional communication errors and lag. This is Nintendo's biggest achievement this year, and maybe even in a few years. I love this game, a lot. In fact, maybe even on a fanboy level. But there is still one more game that surpasses it. But first, here are some honorable mentions.
But it's our new home.
Okay, you know what's coming. I don't think it's any kind of surprise. Number 1. Undertale. Well, duh. You all knew this was coming. Undertale is not only my game of the year, it's my favorite game of all time, along with Mother 3. It's a perfect game in my opinion, with the most lovable characters, true emotions, great music and a nice twist to the turn-based battles. It's a masterpiece in every way. Heck, I've already talked about it so much, there's no reason to go into more details. Never has a game built that strong connection with me, honestly. Just go and play it now, seriously.
And there you have it, my game of the year 2015. It was quite a good year, and let's hope that 2016 will be even better for gaming. Thank you all for watching this video, and thanks to all my subscribers and all the people who like my stuff. Happy New Year and happy gaming. Stay determined.